Good morning, students. How are you all doing? I hope everyone did the eye exercise. Make sure you're doing the eye exercise every day before watching the video content to keep your eyes healthy. Stay safe. Stay home always. Don't go outside unnecessarily. Even if you want to go outside, make sure you're following all these safety measures before leaving the house. Before starting the session, let us see some interesting facts. The largest flower in the world. So the flower with the world's largest bloom is the Rafflesia arnoldi. This rarest flower is found in the rainforest of Indonesia. It can grow up to 3 feet across and weigh up to 15 pounds. So it is a parasitic plant. Parasitic plant mean what? It will depend on the others for its food with no visible leaves, roots or stem. It attaches itself to a host plant to obtain water and nutrients. So let's recap. In the last class, we started with the new lesson in biology, organization of tissues. So we started with the lesson like plant tissues first. So the classification of plant tissues we studied in detail in the last class, that is meristematic tissue. Under meristematic tissues we discussed apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. Under permanent tissues we discussed simple and complex tissues. Under simple tissues we saw parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. The sclerenchyma is further divided into fibers and sclerites, and complex tissue was divided into xylem and phloem. I hope you all remember. In today's class, we are moving on to the next part of the lesson. We are going to start animal tissues. So we are going to see animal tissues in detail. First, let us understand what is meant by tissue. What is a tissue? An assemblage of one or more types of specialized cells held together with extracellular material constitute a tissue. So more than one type of specialized cells, when they are joined together with extracellular material, we call it as tissue, and the study of tissue is called as histology. What is the study of tissue is called? Histology. So these tissues are classified into simple tissues and compound tissues. Simple tissues means they are all similar in their origin, their form, structure, and they all work together with a specific function. So they all have similar origin, their form, their structure, everything will be same, and they also perform similar function together. But compound tissues, there are different cells, a group of cells different in their structure and function. Everything will be different, but they work together, but they coordinate to perform a specific function. So what is the difference between them? Simple tissues, everything is same and they all perform together. In compound tissues, the cells function, structure, all are different, but they also coordinate to perform a specific function. This animal tissue can be grouped into 4 basic types. So they are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. So first, in today's class, let us discuss epithelial tissue in detail. So what does this epithelial tissue mean? So it is the simplest tissue composed of one or more layers of cells covering the external surface of the body and the internal organs. So it covers what? External surface and the internal organs. The cells are arranged very close to each other with less extracellular material. How they are arranged? They are very closely arranged. These epithelial cells lie on a non-cellular basement membrane. So there will be a membrane which doesn't have any cell. So we call it as non-cellular basement membrane. And this generally lacks blood vessels. So what happens? In epithelial tissue, the blood vessels will not be present in them. And the epithelium is separated by underlying connective tissue which provides it with nutrients. So there will be like layers. So in between the layers there will be a underlying connective tissue. So two tissues will be connected by another connective tissue which provides what? which is having a nutrients in them. And also there are two types of epithelial tissues. One is simple epithelium, other one is compound epithelium. So you can see here, third point, simple epithelium means what? It is composed of single layer of cells resting on the basement membrane. So only one layer, it will be on the basement membrane. Compound epithelium is composed of several layers. So what happens? Only the cells of the deepest layer. So 5 layers are there, means fifth layer only will be on the contact of the basement membrane. Since they have more layers, the basement will be touching the last layer. Is it clear, children? Next, we are moving on to the functions. So, functions of epithelial tissue. So, what are their function? The skin, see the first point. The skin which forms the outer covering of the body protects the underlying cells from drying, injury, and microbial infections. So, these tissues help us from what? Getting dried off completely and protect us from injury. If there is any injury, means they will regrow again, and also it will protect us from any microbial infections. Is it clear? Second point, they help in absorption of water and nutrients. So they will be having small pores on them, so it will help in the absorption of water and nutrients. They are involved in elimination of waste products. So how do they eliminate? In the form of sweat. So some epithelial tissues perform secretory function like secretion of sweat, saliva, mucus, and enzymes. So all these are the functions of epithelial tissues. Now we are going to discuss one by one. So here also we have simple epithelium and compound epithelium. So first, simple epithelium, which is having a single layer of cells. It forms a lining for the body cavities and ducts. Simple epithelium is further divided into following types. So let us discuss one by one in detail. We have 5 types in simple epithelium. The first one we have is squamous epithelium. So how do you pronounce it? Squamous epithelium. It is made up of thin flat cells. How it is? Thin flat cells with prominent nuclei. So it will be having an nuclei for sure. That is an important. Prominent means what? Important. No. So prominent nuclei is present in them. These cells have irregular boundaries. They don't have any proper boundaries and bind with the neighboring cells. So they always bind with the neighboring cells. The squamous epithelium is also known as what? Pavement membrane. See the third point. They are also called as pavement membrane, which form the delicate lining of the buccal cavity, alveoli of lungs, proximal tubule of kidneys, and covering of the skin and tongue. And also it protects us from mechanical injury, drying, and invasion of germs. So squamous epithelium, it is also called as pavement membrane. So it where at all it is present? It is present in buccal cavity, alveoli of lungs and kidneys, and the covering of skin and tongue. All these places you can see the squamous epithelium. So you can see here they don't have any proper boundary at all, and there is a connective tissue. With the help of that, they will bind with the neighboring cells. Next we have is cuboidal epithelium. So cuboidal epithelium, it is composed of single layer of cubical cells. Since they have the shape of them is cubic in nature. So can you see here, are they cubic in nature? So that is why they are called as cuboidal epithelium. The nucleus is round and it is always present in the center. Okay, see the third point. This tissue is present in where? In thyroid vesicles, in salivary glands, sweat glands, and exocrine pancreas. And it is also found in intestine and tubular part of nephron as microvilli that increases the absorptive surface area. So it is present in what? It is also present in nephron. Nephron can be seen in kidney tubules. So it increases the absorptive surface area. Their main function is secretion and absorption. Since they are present in kidneys also, they are very much important for our body. Their main function is secretion and absorption. So this is how the cuboidal epithelium will look like. So their cells are cubical in nature. The nucleus is round and present in the center.